Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Guardian Tabloids on the Real Eric Mars podcast on Out of Batteries. Today, we're going to talk about everything that's happened for the past 2 weeks from the release of the new raid, uh, Ron, or Root of Nightmares. We'll talk about our thoughts on it, and we're going to talk about everything that's happened since then. We talk about the loss of Lance Reddick, which was felt by the entire community. And we are also going to talk about what happened in the story with Amanda Holiday. Up to today, which is Reset, we'll talk about that. And then next week, we'll talk about what happens today on Reset. But hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for being here. And we will see you at the end. Let's start with what happened a couple weeks ago with Ron. The raid, world's first raid, came out, and it was Ron. And congratulations to the winners of the world's first Hard in the Paint. It seemed like Ron got a. Does it seem like my camera's crooked? Like, it feels like. There you go. I felt like I was running in Ron, actually. You were a little slanted there. Felt like I was running sideways. Okay. Anyway, so Ron comes out, and Hard in the Paint beats this raid in 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30 minutes for a world first raid, and the fact that they beat it so fast got so much slack. Uh, I couldn't compete in world's first because I had to do some things, but 2.5 hours, and the raid was beat. It's pretty impressive, to say the least. Pretty impressive. So the community thought that the raid was easy, and the contest mode was too easy. I played it, and I will say that patrolling Neptune is a lot tougher than the contest mode raid was. Patrolling Neptune is tougher than the contest mode raid. Not the mechanics, but the fighting, the ad clearing, the enemies difficulty. Yeah, Neptune, 1v1ing a Thresher last week was tough. This week it's a little bit better. However, I thought the raid was good. I know Bife made a point that the last two raids they do a really good job of characterizing the boss of the raid. So we had Vow the Disciple last year, and he was kind of an arrogant raid boss, and he fought like an arrogant raid boss. You know, he would walk around with his hands behind his back and just kick you. Never used his awesome glaive. He just kicked you. And, I mean, if he kicked you, it kind of hurt. Homie's got some legs on him. Daddy Rook. And then this year, we have Ron. We have Nezarek. And he is God of Pain. And he fought like a person trying to inflict pain, you know? He jumps around and tries to slam his weapon on you. He freaking shoots these purple beams at you. He has this thing called hatred, which focuses you, and if you get hit by it, and you're kind of low light level, he will one shot you. It's pretty cool. So it's pretty cool how they characterize the raid bosses, and give them like a personality, and they fight with that personality. It's pretty cool. Uh, so the contest mode was 48 hours, and I think this raid had the most contest mode clears ever. Give me 1 second. I'm back. So this contest raid had the most clears. Um, so the past 3 raids, we've had Deepstone Crypt, Follow the Disciple, and this time we have Root of Nightmares. That's why they call it Ron, Root of Nightmares. And so the guy who designed it is actually named Ron. I don't know, bro. That's a lie. That's a lie. Uh, because it's a team that designs it. But BBA Darksteel, thank you for being here, and I'll be in PC Raid Room 1. Anywho, keep going here. So the past 3 raids we had Deepstone Crypt, Valor Disciple, and Root of Nightmares, and they've all kind of been cleared pretty easily. Now, if BBA Darksteel joins me here, I could ask him which one he thought was easiest.
I was muted. I don't know how.
It was a mute, but
Yeah, but like, why was I muted?
I have no idea. Um, let's talk about the raid.
Also calling me by my full government name? Wow.
When?
BBA Darkstone. Just call me David.
Just
Easier.
call you David. The
I need to change my name.
sauce balls.
There you go. So
I was talking about Ron, and then I said the past 3 raids: Deepstone Crypt, Valor Disciple, and Root of Nightmares. Which one do you think is the easiest one?
easiest in what context? Like first time through or easiest knowing how to do them now?
First time through.
Um it's probably still Deepstone.
Deepstone.
Yeah.
Deepstone is very forgiving.
Yeah. Um I don't know, at least Deepstone, like in the boss room, it like everybody's got to do something. In this one, it really is like you max out at 4 in Ron you max out at 4 people doing something, and in Deepstone like you max out at 6 people, but I still think Deepstone is easier.
And you're talking mechanic prize, right?
Yeah, mechanic. I mean, so all the raids basically, every single raid basically breaks down to like get a thing, do a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always get a thing, and get a thing can be get a buff, stand on a plate, you know, read a symbol. Like you do one thing in order to do a second thing, and I think Deepstone has some of the easiest get a thing, do a thing out of all of the raids. Cause like Scanner is literally get a buff, look at what's glowing. Operator is get a buff, shoot the red thing. Suppressor is get the buff, shoot the thing. Like at least in with Ron, it's like get the buff, jump the gap, get the buff, fly between plates, look for the next buff, get the buff. You know there's some especially like in the so for the first encounter of Ron, like because they're in random spots, like unless you just unless you simply know where they are, which if I'm talking in the context of like first time through, like eventually you'll kind of learn a pattern, but like me and Oki fly through it now, but that's because we've done it every single time, you know.
Yeah.
Um, you could very easily give somebody who's never done Deep Stone Scanner for every encounter, and they can figure it out like super fast. Like, oh, I grab this thing and I look at this, and I just relay that information. So I still think Deep Stone is the easiest. Plus, the boss bake is super easy. Like, it's pretty easy. Like, you get a lot of time to damage Tanix. I feel like Ron, because he jumps around and he's kind of weird. Like, you could realistically do all six Guardians on Tanix with like I don't know, Cloud Strike or Sleepers. Like, you don't have to have the div bubble because Tanix kind of floats in the middle. He moves, but he doesn't teleport and jump at you. You know, you can't really you can't really go heavy on the precision weapons with uh Rolk, because Rolk actively moves around. Rolk is an incredible fight, by the way. I think that's probably one of the best boss battles they've done.
Yes.
Um, but if first time through, Vow is definitely the hardest. Um, if you're just going off those three, it would be Vow, then Ron, then Crypt. And that's I think the mechanics in Crypt are probably the easiest ones to pick up. Like for somebody who's never done anything, and if you want to teach, it's also one of the easiest to teach. Like try to teach somebody how to plan for symbols and swap
Oh.
symbols in what's it called, exhibit or exhibition.
Yes.
Like that's try to teach somebody how to use the Aegis to cleanse left and right side in the second room. Like using the Aegis to fly across and like cleanse one, cleanse two, like that's tough. That's not super easy to just pick up.
Yeah, that's true. There's in Deepstone, there's not a room in Deepstone where you could like if you LFG, and there's not a room where you could say, "Oh, we're gonna get stuck there for a minute." If I LFG Ron,
Right.
I know we're gonna get stuck at in the planet room. Uh, what is it called, Necrocosm or something like that?
Um Cataclysm.
Macrocosm.
Cataclysm, bro.
Cataclysm is the first encounter.
Is it really?
Yes.
You think it'd be the third one considering you're crashing planets into each other.
Right.
I just know the second one's called Schism. I don't actually know the encounter names. But yeah, Planet Room, and realistically, the only reason that you would get stuck in Planet Room is because if there's 20 different callouts for plates, and I mean, we do callouts different than our group, so
Yeah, we do our callouts different than our own group.
than our back gang, the ones that do the shooting in the back or the mechanics in the back.
Yeah, and then if you have ad clearers that aren't clearing the ads.
Or clearing ads where they shouldn't be clearing ads. Why are you standing next to the boss clearing ads, bro? What are you doing up
I'm
there?
It's getting an orb.
Yeah. Sorry, why?
So the world's first team, Harden the Paint, declared it in 2.5 hours, and
Yes.
that's the fastest world's first ever, right?
I believe it's the second.
Second, okay. Which one was faster?
I
Deep Zone?
I want to say it was no, not Deep Stone. Hold on. Let me pull that up.
Say Argos.
No, it wasn't It might have been Argos. First grade clear times. World's first completion times. It was Argos at an hour and 37 minutes.
Yeah, but Argos didn't really count. That was a raid lair.
Yeah, it's still they still got belts, so I think it
Oh,
still
they did?
counts.
That's
Or
crazy.
technically, so I know that it's a lair. It's not a full blown raid, but they still count because I mean they still count the reprised raids on here, like Vault of Glass and Kingsfall are both included on that list.
Yeah.
Like because it's still like it's a reprised raid, so they still time them, and they still have a raid race day. So, but yeah, so fastest was Eater of Worlds at an hour and 37 minutes. The longest one is Last Wish at 18 hours and 49 minutes.
Yes, that's was good old. What was it called? Vault.
Yeah, the Vault encounter.
Um, you say I remember doing Argos and the not the mechanics, but the enemy fights, like killing enemies, was so much harder in Argos than it was in Ron.
We were a lot weaker. Wasn't Argos still double primary meta?
Probably.
It's hard for me to remember like
I just remember getting horked by freaking Minotaurs all the time.
yeah. I mean that
But we were
that
a
kind
lot
of goes
weaker.
yeah, and that goes to show you just how far like the build system, like everything in the game has gone. Like all the synergy has gone up so much that there's infinite ability spam builds and there's, like there's certain weapon combinations and the more people figure the game out, the easier the harder content's going to become. So, like people find out, oh, hey, if you run double special, you drop more heavy. If you run double special and get kills with your heavy, you're almost guaranteed special bricks. Like they have percentages written out for all of that. Uh, they have stat lines and breakdown videos and min max videos, and everything becomes once all the I guess what you would consider like top end player knowledge becomes common knowledge to where everybody has access to it, you're gonna have more people that can viably compete for a world's first raid, in other words, or like be able to do things that previously only your high end players were able to do. Like I was watching a little bit of the hard mode raid today, and of course, like all they're streamer teams, so of course they play the game for a living. But even with this, like they're flying through it because it's Solar Surge. So everybody saw Solar Surge and they're running 6 Warlocks and they're just throwing nukes, off of their grenade ability. Just what's that 25% bonus damage to Solar? Like good thing I have fusion nades. And good thing I saw that error video. Good thing I saw that Mactics, the plunder, the like, even Cross and Clyde. Even they're making like build videos now because it's just easy.
Yeah. Well, back.
That's not content that they used to do. Eric, like out of all of them, the only the only big streamer or content creator that I really remember being a number cruncher was Error, and that's why a lot of people always said like, "Oh, Redeem has such a like, they have a really good asset in Error because he is a number cruncher. Like he's willing to go and just throw a fusion grenade at a lost sector boss and like record it and go frame by frame and find like exactly how much damage each part of the build is doing to how to min max and how to maximize your damage window with it. But now there's like tons of people that do that.
You think it's because everything's more available? Because back then you had to unlock everything. You know, you had to like unlock all, earn your mods. Now they're just given to you.
Well, so for like a newer player, yeah, but I don't really think somebody that's super new to the game outside of like a big streamer or something like that, I don't think somebody that's super new to the game is gonna, load up a new expansion and grind for a week and make a concerted effort at getting world's first in a raid. They might, like I'm sure there are people that do that, but your standard average player isn't just gonna like log in and have a full blown grasp of the mod system and all that. Um, I mean, I just watched Sweat's video where he did the same thing again. He does a 24-hour challenge, right? So, can a new light get ready for this raid in 24 hours? He did one for Kingsfall, and he did another one for Root of Nightmares. And when he's playing as that on that alternate account, like when he's in the low levels, you get other players that are low level, and a lot of them just don't, I guess, read. They don't read the instructions on the screen or stuff like that, because when he gets into content that has champions in it, a lot of them are just dying to the champs and they just can't kill the champs. And even though if you just hit your menus, you hit your menu screen and it shows you like, how does this read? Like barrier, you know, their artifact mods, but also from radiant, unraveling, volatile, unstop, from ignitions, blinding, stasis, shatter. Like they, but they don't really grasp what that is. So I don't really think it's new people hopping on and doing all of that stuff, because unless they're, I guess unless they're already consuming content of it and they say like, oh, that looks like a game that I'd like to play, and then they go and actually play the game and follow the content and make the builds, then sure. But beyond that, like, no, I don't really think it's. There's the Destiny New Light experience is like super overwhelming. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, even you, man, just deleted a character because he wanted to remake it, and even he's a little lost having played the game forever. He's like, wait, where do I go to get this again? How do I get this again? So it's not very concise. It's kind of convoluted, actually.
Yeah, I can see. Like, I can see it being where it's so much to do that you just quit.
Yeah, very much.
Okay. Next, we're talking about the Excalibur mission that came out right after was first. It was the following week. And do you think it's an intro to us being able to bring back IO?
Um, well, I unfortunately have Twitter, and Twitter tends to drop leaks. So, do you want me to talk about it?
Hmm. Is this something that happens this week,
No, I don't think so. I don't know
or
when
is
it's
it?
happening. I think it's a future season, honestly, because they're talking about stuff that's like off in the
Is
distance.
this like they go in and read the files or something?
Yeah, it's all, you know how data miners are.
Yeah.
Like, I did the same thing. I opened Twitter this morning and I saw that the next prestige skin for Apex is Caustic, and he has a finisher where he stands over the person and spews acid on them. So
What?
yeah, I know, and that's not even in because we just got out of an event, or we have an event coming up rather, that's where Ash is getting her heirloom. So this is even further in the future.
Oh
But yeah,
wow.
people just can't leave like digital files alone. They got to go poking around and find everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So to be perfectly honest, I had complete like all the planets that got warped and everything. Like I'd forgotten about Titan, about Sloan, about Io, about Asher Mir, like all of that. So when I did I think it's called Avalon, is the technical name of the mission. It's weird because it's written like it's code, like
Right.
exe dot slash slash Avalon whatever. So when we did that and I saw the digital dude, I was like, oh hey, there's a dude here. Like what's going on? Like, and I was genuinely surprised because I didn't know, like I'd forgotten about Asher, and I forgot that I didn't keep up with any of the lore, so I didn't know that he had digitized himself into the Vex network. Uh, and because of that, I have been very much enjoying the voice lines from all of it. like when
Oh.
Mithrax is saying like this must have been the brightest mind and the most beautiful person. Ah yes, Ashimir has confirmed that that it indeed was.
That
Like
was funny.
yeah, I kind of
Beautiful
want to go do
soul.
yeah, I kind of want to go do the third one because we'll go get an extra blueprint uh and get those voice lines. Well, I guess we can do it on normal, right? To
Yeah.
have that. But
Yes. Speaking of normal, what were your thoughts on the legend difficulty? Because we just did that.
that thing's tough, dude. Like uh I don't know. There's a you can't it wouldn't be too hard if we had three players that were just playing offensively, but because we play with a lot of people who are more reserved and they're more worried about dying than slaying out, like it makes it difficult. But because you can play reserved and still slay, but you need to actually slay, you know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, it's tough. Like that mode is tough. I in the one attempt that you man had, it uh where you got kicked unfortunately because servers, yay.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, at the end of that, dude, I had over 1,000 kills. Like the ad density is there, the difficulty is there, but it's not impossible. I had 1,000 kills, so uh, it's tough because they always make the bosses are always super lethal, which I get, but it's tough when they make the boss super lethal and they don't give you any cover, and then they want to you have some content creators that are advocating for big nerfs uh to survivability in the game, but all the clips that they always share are like they're not taking a lot of aggro and they're playing with a full squad and the squad is taking a lot of the aggro. So yeah, if you're sitting in a well, like of course you're not going to get killed, but you don't have well all the time. Um but the mission itself is cool. Legend difficulty was definitely tough. Uh I don't know. I honestly don't see a way that we like could finish that without the method
Yeah.
that we
The
used.
method.
But
Yep.
I mean, what did you think about it?
I thought it was tough. Like it was tougher than contest mode enemies. Like these uh goblins were taking more than a magazine to die.
The Minotaurs, man, the
The
Minotaurs
the
feel like
Minotaurs are just, oh my god.
I feel like I had to dump half of my commemoration into them, like
Yeah,
half of my heavy LMG, just to be able to take them out.
yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely tough.
The
Um,
second time we did it yesterday was a lot easier. We ran two warlocks, or just warlock in general was easier with the grenades. The grenades,
yeah, with the
it's just
wells,
yeah,
which is unfortunate because you kind of have to. That's more of the same. Like, oh well, you have to one class defaults to one subclass.
yeah,
Like it was cool. It was like fun running it with Strand because you can suspend everything and you feel a lot more powerful. But even even when I would suspend the Minotaurs, like with the fragment that increases the time that they're suspended, I still feel like I had to focus that Minotaur the entire time it was suspended just to kill it. And
yeah,
they'll send six of them at you at a time. So at that point, it's like, dude, what am I supposed to do? So it feels a lot of the things that some people complain about in the game, like blinding grenades are OP, well is OP, this is OP. A lot of the times it feels like you have to use that if you just want to make it through the content, because otherwise you just get overwhelmed. And like in when we drop down in that center for the second encounter, the where you actually fight the first boss, you kind of have to have at least one blinding GL, otherwise the wyverns just walk up and they shoot you
yeah,
when you're in the little hole,
yeah,
and there's zero cover in there, and they'll walk right up to the edge. My original thought was, oh well, if you wanted to solo this, like you just push into one corner as a Titan and you pop a shield. But no, like they will walk up and shoot straight down.
yeah.
So you'd have to just get lucky and have your wall up where they aren't directly on top of you.
Right.
But
Well,
enemy tracking, like they're just gonna walk straight towards you. So,
I had thought about us not going into that hole until time was up.
which could work, but then you're up top with wyverns, and
Yeah.
you still gotta kind of focus them. So at least
Uh,
the dropping in there early gives you like a little bit of a breather, because then the hobgoblins aren't sniping you, and
true.
all the random junk in the room isn't shooting you. You just have to really worry about well, I say that, but what are the little headless dudes that just run at you? Fanatics. Like those dudes, there were several times where they just straight up hopped in the hole, like with us. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's not impossible. It's definitely doable. Um, it's unfortunate that the best way to do it is to cheese it, other than just playing incredibly slow. But I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's harder content, so it's cool.
Yeah. Did you try it solo?
No, or yeah, I think I did the first section, but it wasn't like oh, I'm gonna solo this. Like I went into the first section, I think, to try something out. Like
Just to see
I don't
how
remember.
difficult it was.
Well, not even that. It was I think I wanted to see I was trying the Verity's brow. I wanted to see if Threadlings were strong against them, basically.
Mm.
It was like a test run. It wasn't a actual like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do this solo. It was, hey, I know where there are a bunch of really like tough enemies. Let me load in with this build really quick and see how it works against them, type thing. So kind of yes, but no, not really.
Gotcha. All right, and then so next comes kind of a low point. Um, of course we lost Lance Reddick, and uh, I think everybody found out how much he meant to the community.
Yeah, for sure. All the vigils and everything you saw, was really cool to see all of that.
Yes, it was. Um, where do you think the game goes from here?
Like story wise.
Yeah, with Zavala.
Um, hmm,
But
sorry, I had to
I know
cough.
that they said that he has a big part coming up.
Yeah, I want to say I saw that all of his stuff had already been completed, like for the next couple seasons. I think, like his, I guess his voice lines had already been recorded. Um, I'm kind of so like me personally, I'm kind of on the same boat as what Paul Tassi said, which is you kind of have to write him out of the story, I think, because you're not going to find anybody that's going to replace him. Uh,
Right.
I don't know how they write him out of the story. I don't know if it's like an off-screen thing or how that would work. Like you know how they like killed off Segura off screen. It's I would imagine it'd be more than just uh what Segura got, which was basically just I think a lore entry
Yeah, it
for
was.
how Segura was destroyed or killed. Um, they probably do so. I don't know. Maybe they have Ikora talk about it or something. But I don't like the idea of doing like the AI voice generation thing to add more lines. I think just keep whatever they have already and then maybe use like existing voice lines that they have to like kind of slap chop something together if they need to close it out. I think that's fine. Uh but yeah, I feel like they write him out. Um I don't I or so I think they should write him out. I don't think we should get like a replacement actor for him if they want to keep Zavala around. That's got to be super tough for like the story team because I don't know how you would do that, but I don't know. That's a super tough question. Like I don't know what the answer is here.
I mean, there's not really an answer. It's just
Yeah, well,
like,
I don't know what like the best choice is, like so what should we do or what should they do?
I mean, I think the best choice is writing him off. You can't really you can't replace him at all, really.
Yeah.
Just because of what he meant to the community, you can't replace him.
Yeah, very much.
And then, of
Give me
course, oh, what was that?
No, I was gonna say give me like 10 seconds real quick. I'm gonna go grab a drink.
Okay. So, for those of you that don't know, Lance Reddick was the voice of Zavala, which is the leader of the Vanguard, which is our leader. So, and he passed away, unfortunately. And the community came together at his site, and they did like a vigil for him, and it was amazing. It was great the way the community came together for him. It just showed how much he meant to the community. Because he also played the
Sorry,
game,
I
and it was
cooked
his
up a
favorite
coffee
game.
and I didn't want it to get cold.
At least you put the cup there this time.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for reminding me about that. That's not even the only time I've done that. I've done that a couple times.
So right after, of course, we lost Lance Reddick. In real life, then we came and played the game, and we lost Amanda Holiday.
We did
We did.
in
It,
a very, I don't know,
it,
odd timing, but
right? Uh, it was funny because I had noticed that they took away all her Twitch Prime stuff, but
uh,
she was a prisoner, so I was like, oh, it's because she's in the story right now, and we
yeah,
were finding out everything about her, and then she just fucking blows up.
Yeah, bro, they give her the anime treatment.
Yeah, bro.
So I don't know. I don't, I don't know how much anime you watch, but anytime you start getting backstory on one of your favorite characters, like brace for impact. that's that's always how it goes. Like if you get a flashback scene, they're done. They're done. So they're like, oh man, buy your pop, buy your plushies, whatever, because they're about to be written out of the story. Um,
It literally was,
yeah,
because 1 week it was her backstory of how she got to the city,
yeah, and
and
her
then the next
mom
week,
got killed in a raid, and then her dad died of pneumonia, and then
yeah.
well, she got blown up. So, um, yeah, that's pretty big deal, I think. Um, what do you think that it is going to happen?
But what, and we talked about it last week, just to get each other. Uh, but I do think she's going to get picked by a ghost that's just roaming around.
Yeah, by one of the roaming ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, the so there's a lot of like confusion and stuff, and this is very much the season of wait, is that how that works, or what? How does this work now? Type of stuff because the Traveler has a brand new door on the front of it that wasn't there before. Everything is stoic confusion,
yeah.
right?
Like,
So
is he dead? Is the traveler dead, or no?
yeah, well, because the light, like, how did
The ghost
they
is.
don't,
They say
yeah,
the
the
ghosts
ghosts
don't
don't
feel the
feel
light.
they don't, well, no, they don't feel the presence of the Traveler, but the light is still there. And then there's a line from the end of the campaign where Zavala's like, um, because the Traveler can't like give us the light or something. He has a, I don't know, it's just an odd phrasing. And so people were saying, oh, okay, so that means that all the ghosts that are existing can't find their guardians now because they don't have that power anymore because the Traveler is incapacitated at the moment. Uh, but but the ghosts are still here, and we still have our light subclasses, and we can still feel the light.
Right.
So it's all, what is the veil? It's all, nothing makes sense. Everything is weird. Um, I kind of feel like they'll probably do that. Like they'll bring her back uh, as a hunter, and
As a
she'll
hunter.
probably end up taking the Vanguard hunter spot. Plus, it fits story wise because uh, Amanda and Crow, their whole little love triangle, is like, oh well, she can't, like, she likes him a lot, but she can't ever not see Aldrin. Well, when you come back as a guardian, your previous life gets wiped, and you have a new name, and you start your new life.
Unless
And
you touch Sabaton.
yeah, unless you touch Savathun, and but I think that was like a special case because Savathun had been like directly messing with Crow for so long, like she influenced him and all that,
Yeah.
so she's able to show him all those memories. Um, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I saw somebody say that they thought it was stupid that they killed off Holiday, that they could have just kept her around, and that if they wanted to kill somebody that had been around for a long time and nobody would really give a damn about, like, why don't they just kill off Hawthorne? Like, she's
That's
had
fucked
like
up.
no voice lines in the last 4 years. So
Sure, she does. She says, "Are you looking at me funny?"
I think he's looking at you funny because you're a bird. I did see somebody say, or I did see a sentiment that uh losing Holiday in that cutscene, like, that felt worse than like what actually happened to the Traveler. Like the Holiday dying like actually made me feel like we lost. The Traveler getting a triangle put on its nose
Yeah, it
didn't
didn't.
really change how I feel. Like I didn't feel anything when that happened. When Holiday died, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, what I think when Holiday died, that was the feeling you were supposed to get when what's that guy's name died? Rohan.
Oh, Rohan.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was I mean that was they literally talked about Nimbus being the last Cloud Strider like several times. I think I don't remember if it was in like promo stuff or what, but and they foreshadowed it like very poorly because they're like, oh yeah, Rohan's at his 10-year mark. Like, oh okay, so he's gonna die soon, so he'll probably die in the story, and then he dies in the story, and it's not like a surprise,
right.
because he's literally at the end of his uh I was gonna say useful cycle, but
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like the end of his, well, the end of
Yeah,
whatever the Cloud Strider thing is. Like they only get 10 years of service or
he's about to retire.
activation. Yeah, retire by dying.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess we'll find out which way the story's gonna go this week.
Oh,
If it's just today,
is there a new story?
there is a new. Uh,
I'm on the wrong character for that. I have Destiny loaded, and I think my hunter is the furthest along.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll see where that goes.
Where do we have to go here? Helm. I don't know.
Yeah, helm for Devram K briefing.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
And
this is the last week, so we'll actually find out today what happens. It is 25 of 28, so I guess this is the week of
this is the last week of stuff. How many?
well, it's the last week for We Stand Unbroken, and in the season we still have 55 days. This looks like it might be another Savathun Crystal type thing where the because Bungie caught so much flack for why do you drip feed us content, like we're forced to play this thing every single week. You give us a seasonal quest that has 78 steps and we can only do or like 4 steps per week. So I think part of their answer to that was like, okay, here, what if we resolve the main part of the story in the first 4 weeks, and then the last like 5 weeks of the season, you can do whatever until like the final week, and then in the final week, like you pick up the last bit of the story, and you get the last like basically whatever like cliffhangers you into the next part of the story or into the next season.
Thanks. So we got nothing to do for 2 months.
For 55 days, yeah. Catch
uh,
everything up and unlock
I
everything and get
guess.
all the quests, work on titles.
What? Minecraft? Is that you?
Right?
Whispering over there.
No, it's Diamond and Apex is at you. There's 1 week left in the split. I didn't even realize it, but
I figured there wasn't too much time left.
yeah, yeah. So I guess we will have the resolution of the seasonal We Stand Unbroken thing together today.
Yep. And everything Master comes out today also. Master Raid, Master seasonal activity.
Hmm.
So it should be fun. Uh, what are you expecting from Master Ron? I know you've watched a little bit of it. You said earlier.
I mean, I watched all of it, dude. It took him like 35 minutes to beat the raid.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Uh, the things hit a little bit harder. That's kind of it. There's champs, so there's more champs rather. It adds unstoppables in a couple of areas.
Mm.
It doesn't really look like they changed much of the mechanics. Some I know some people were theorizing like, oh, well, when you have the light and dark buffs, that the champions will have like light and dark stuff on them. So it will not only be a barrier, but it'll be a barrier that you have to have the light from, or maybe the tormentors from the first section will have the light or dark buff, but or have the light buff because you can't get dark in that section.
Right.
But no, it's just the enemies are a little bit harder, uh, which just means that they hurt more, and then there's a bunch of surges. So the enemies hurt more, but they also make you, or they make us as the players more lethal. So not really that big of a difference. So I expect adept weapons, and I think this might be. I think Brood of Nightmares might be a master raid that we can actually run the whole thing, not just
Just that certain encounter for
yeah,
the week.
not just a section. You know, not just doing Templar to get our time lost Fate bringers.
Right.
So yeah, it's you are permacap 20 under, but it from what I was watching, it didn't really look like it was that big of a deal. I think it's actually less of a cap than the day one was. I think day one was 25, right? Contest is 25.
Yeah.
So master cap is 20. So it'll actually be easier than day one.
I think the only thing about master mode that I see is there's not really any weapons worth
Yeah.
getting,
So
right?
no, I agree. Especially because all you can do is just if you play with that weapon enough, eventually you can get the adept version, or sorry, the enhanced traits that you have on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, out of the really the only weapon that I thought, oh hey, this is really good from the raid is that auto rifle, the Rufus's Fury or whatever it's called, because you can get demo and hatchling. But I I just prefer SMGs in general play, and the Immortal was on the opening weekend of Trials, and
Yeah.
that gun's insane. So I'd rather just grind for a good roll of the Immortal.
I
But
imagine grinding trials instead of a raid just because it's easier and
yeah, that's not
worth
really
more.
a so that hasn't really been like a new thing. Like historically, a lot of the best PvE weapons have been
That's
behind
true.
like tough
Mountaintop.
PvP stuff,
Yeah.
Mountaintop, Recluse, and then a lot of the better PvP weapons end up in the PvE category, like Palindrome. Uh, Actually, Palindrome's really the only one I can think of. I can't really think of another crazy PvP meta that was dominated by a PvE gun.
Oh, Fellwinters.
Yeah, okay. Fellwinter, Mindbender, a lot of the shotguns. So yeah, a lot of the ones that came out of like strikes, older activities
No.
that are no longer in the game.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? Matador. Matador drops from Avarice. So that's second encounter farm is definitely a thing. Or sorry, first encounter farm. Is
Oh
it
yeah,
first or
and
second?
the
The ogre.
and the scout rifle that just came out a couple seasons ago. Uh, dead Deadman's.
Oh yeah, Dead Man's. You're right. Which was, damn, what was even the name of that mission?
um,
So, anyways,
yeah,
I can't remember it, bro. It's something.
yeah. It's funny because that's a mission that started kind of this storyline uh in Lightfall.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Oh man, it's gonna bug me so much. What is the name of that damn thing? Yeah, no, gone forever.
It's there. I just can't think of it.
I have the
Freaking
emblem for it too. Doesn't tell me where it came from though. Collections, flair, emblems. What was it under? It was a raid one, wasn't it? No, it wasn't a raid one. World. Damn, bro, I'm struggling
Holy
so hard.
crap, dude! I can't think of it at all.
It was something.
I can't even find the emblem. What's it under?
I don't know. I had the emblem on my presage.
There you go.
Presage.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's the next chapter. It's under seasonal. It's the bull with like the red S behind it. And it's for flawless completion of Presage Exotic Quest on Master.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one. But yeah, I mean it's always kind of been like that. Your best PvE weapons are locked behind PvP content. Your best PvP weapons are locked behind PvE content. But one of those is definitely easier than the other to be able to farm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've said it before, but I don't know if you're paying attention. But I think they should put the red border weapons in master raids.
Like all red border weapons or the red borders for the raid.
For the raid. Like if
Mm,
you want a red border for barons, you got to do the master raid.
I guess so. Like that, I think that's fine
Because
because that
that's,
would
I mean,
encourage people
that's
to
the
try the
only,
harder stuff.
right. That's the only way you're gonna get people to do it. Like, if you sit here and you can't, you're never gonna sit there and be like, oh, let's do the master raid. Like, everybody's gonna pick the regular raid because it's easier.
Yeah, the regular
and
raid.
there's nothing worth getting in the master raid that you can't get in the regular raid. Or at least try drop some high stat armor, like
Yeah,
guaranteed high stat armor.
the armor drops that I saw today, by the way, were not the highest of stat, but they were definitely like very spiky. So that's somewhat promising.
Very spiky. Oh, like they
Yeah,
spike you
like
over harder.
20, like 224 stat.
Right.
Like a sweat had legs drop that were like 24 discipline, 23 resil, you know, and
Okay.
that's yeah, I know that's not terrible. Uh, but still, it's still tough. The I I guess I would be okay with that, but the tough thing is that you would have to guarantee like red borders at either if it's not armor or if it's armor, okay, fine. But if it's a gun that drops at any encounter, like it has to be red border. Because if you're gonna lock your red borders behind master content, like you
You
need to
gotta
guarantee
increase the
them
drop. Of
because you
yeah.
can't, yeah, or very much increase the drop, like above 50% chance.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like that's tough. That's if
Yeah.
you
You
wanted
were
to layer RNG on top of uh harder content, like that's very tough.
yeah. Hey everybody! Thank you for watching or listening to today's episode of Guardian Tabloids on the Eric Mars podcast. Uh, on the Out of Battery channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to thank the people listening here in the United States, in the Philippines, United Kingdom, and Japan. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. We really, really appreciate it. We're a team working here. And I want to thank BBA Darksteel for stopping by today and helping us get another episode in. And I hope you enjoyed the content. I just want to leave you with a question of the day. Since we talked about what happened last week with Amanda Holiday, I want to know, where do you think they should go with this with Amanda? should they, you maybe bring her back as a guardian, or are they gonna make a memorial for her like they did for Cade? And what happens with Zavala, because this death greatly affected Zavala in a very, very hard way, because he kind of raised her when she got to the city. So let me know what you think, and give me any comments. This video will be posted on YouTube, and you can catch the live streams on Twitch at twitch.com/Doc3307. I do stream during the week every day, so if you want to stop by and say hello, that'd be great. But thank you everybody for who listens. Like again, I said, in the United States and the Philippines, the United Kingdom, and Japan, thank you. We really appreciate it, and we hope to give you more content here in the near future. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good morning wherever you are. I appreciate you all, and thank you for listening.